Let me give you guys some advice. So these are the things that I've noticed that are the most frustrating things and maybe unexpected things that you'll bump into when you are vibe coding an application. And it's one of my biggest pet peeves, possibly, about this whole process. But I'm still grateful that I get to go through the process of ideation and creation, all without having to hire somebody else to do it for me. But regardless of that, this is still a pain point, well, at least with the current AI that I'm using in order to create my application. So today, one of the users of the application sent a note and said, hey, look, just a feature request. When I create an IOU, I would like it to also pop up in the blend items, right? And in my head, I'm like, no, like, don't worry about, like, that's already there. That's already a feature. We're on version 3.5 now. I think I'm pretty sure I made sure on version 2 that it's sorted, right? Looked at it, no, it's broken. And I was like, oh man, I have to deal with this again because it's not my first time dealing with this problem. And the problem is when you are creating new features and you're editing existing features and you're upgrading them and you're doing all these other things while vibe coding, you have to be very careful that you put very specific constraints, especially with an application as complex as this one, right? There's a whole bunch of things happening in the background that you have to be very careful in the request that you make of the AI. In this instance, right, while I was upgrading and I was doing all these updates for the notifications, probably as far back as the IOUs, something broke, something changed while it was doing those upgrades that disabled the ability for IOUs to then translate over to blend items. So some of the features still exist, and that's because I've learned my lessons, kind of. I do put in some constraints to stop the AI from changing too many things that it shouldn't be touching. Or if it is going to touch it, I want it to tell me immediately and be like, hey, look, I touched this thing, I edited this thing in order to get this feature that you requested to work. So this is what's up. And then I can be like, okay, no, undo that. Or okay, yeah, that's fine. Let's change how this feature works. Right? So this is just one of those things that happens where it's annoying, but I'm still so grateful because I am capable of going through the process of ideation and creation all by myself without having to outsource and pay someone else with money that I do not have. So I'm able to bring to life my ideas without expending the same amount of capital that I might have had to do in the past. So just a heads up, it's amazing. Again, I'm grateful. I'm going to continue doing it and learn how to get the AI to do what I want it to do without doing something that I don't want it to do in the background as well. All right. Otherwise, that's it. Just a word of advice, I guess.